Water is at the centre of our climate crisis. By 2030, global freshwater demand will outstrip supply by 40%, leaving billions of people without access to basic water and sanitation. Yet only 1% of climate change funding is allocated to water and sanitation for vulnerable communities.
It's a very common situation in Southeast Asia that climate change is giving impact on water availability.
In Timor-Leste, for currently the situation of climate change, it's more on the flooding, including damage all the water system, sanitation system in a community.
That Pakistan is one of the countries which has experienced very diverse disasters in the past 2 decades, mostly related to either too much water or too little water in the areas.
We cannot separate because climate is water, but sometimes how to manage when it's too much water but it's not safe, and sometimes it's too little water, also not safe.
As the climate crisis worsens and disasters become more frequent and severe, marginalised voices are being left out of the conversation, even though they bear the greatest burden.
Women are actually the key players in carrying out the household chores, whereby the use of water, for instance, to look after the kids, to water the kitchen garden. Similarly, other marginalized groups such as people with disabilities, elderly, and poor. So in a way, like climate change, although it impacts all, but this section called marginalized group, they are being affected more.
Just climate change make disabled people in Cambodia, like it is very difficult to move. When there is a drought, it's very difficult to access to get the clean water, and the water is far away from their house.
It impacts them in several ways. Firstly, there is weak access. So they don't have access to safe facilities, they do not have access to safe water, drinking water, so they miss out on livelihoods, they miss out on schools, they miss out on nutrition. So it impacts their life at many levels.
Local and traditional knowledge offers untapped solutions for climate challenges and provides valuable insights into impacts on water and sanitation.
By knowing that people are living in the very vulnerable locations, location at risk, we learn from them on how to design a good facility that can be accessible for them. We learn from people with different disabilities on how to design the most appropriate facilities for them. To have the good climate resilience facilities, one of the major components is to listen to them, what will be the best option for them so that they can access all those facilities.
គឺបើសិនជាគាត់មានការយល់ដឹងអំពីការបម្រែបម្រួលអាកាសធាតុគាត់មានឥទ្ធិពលខ្លាំងនៅក្នុងគ្រួសារទី1គាត់ជាស្ត្រីមេផ្ទះស្ត្រីគឺគាត់នឹងតស៊ូមតិទៅដល់អ្វីដែលវានឹងបំរុងនឹងកើតឡើងហើយនឹងតស៊ូមតិនៅអ្វីដែលវាមិនអាចកើតឡើងបានអញ្ចឹងសម្លេងស្ត្រីគឺសម្លេងដែលខ្លាំងនៅក្នុងសហគមន៍ក៏ដូចជានៅក្នុងក្រុមគ្រួសារ
Water for Women partners collaborate with communities to strengthen climate resilience and equity in water and wash systems in 16 Asia-Pacific countries.
Now we are focused on integrated climate into the wash. So how to considering climate aspect in all wash process implementation and wash approach. For example, when we are doing the construction for water supply, we are now thinking and consult about the impact of climate change itself to the construction that been constructed in a community.
The importance of all those climate data are twofold. The first one is just to make sure that the design or the facilities that we are providing right now will still be relevant for a longer term. At the government level, I think it's also work in the same way that any planning, any policy that local government or national government are developing, it needs to be informed by good data, good scientific evidence about what's happening in terms of climate change and water availability and sanitation impact.
What we know is that water can guide us through this crisis, but diverse voices must lead the way. And that climate resilient and inclusive wash services are crucial for a water secure, peaceful and sustainable future for all.
Climate change is the world issue, not only a particular country or particular area, and it needs a collective effort.
If we talk about climate resilient inclusive wash, inclusive means we take people together to raise their voice, to put their voice on decision making process.
And it's not only the men, but also women, children, elderly, person with disability, LGBTQ+, and all vulnerable groups have to come together to protect their sources in their community.
There are many challenges, but if we keep looking at the challenges, we will not look at the solutions. And when we work with communities, we work from the lens of people who have solutions. So enable them, facilitate them to shape their own solutions. And that is how they will contribute.